Hey, this is Steve Halleck of TikToking. As always, I'm at Steve Halleck on Instagram and at TikToking.com. Today I have a really special piece, another real art piece. This is the Laurent Ferrier Galet Secret Tourbillon. So the first thing you notice is the dial is, well, very reflective. We're going to get a lot of reflections today. There's my big window giving us light. But the dial basically has this like fan-like, almost metallic pattern. I'll tell you what that is when we get into it. You've got the very classic now Laurent Ferrier hands, and you can see the typical onion crown of Laurent Ferrier, although this one happens to have a button on it, which is interesting, right? But the first thing you would probably notice if you were just holding this watch and didn't know what to look for is the movement. So let's start there. This is the now sort of famous double hairspring Laurent Ferrier movement, tourbillon, Galet tourbillon movement, and it is just stunning. It's really stunning piece. The finish is, every bit as good as anybody you're gonna find. Look at those beveled edges. The layout is beautiful. I'm just going to let you soak it in here while we get some different angles. It's one of these movements finished to the level where it just glows. It looks like a jewel itself. And down here, of course, you have this big tourbillon, which is very cool looking. The cage in particular is really nice, and this bridge is very beautifully designed. Laurent Ferrier just kind of nails the design. Everything is just right. The proportions are right. The layouts are great. And it's all very kind of classic and restrained, but beautiful. So great, you've got a tourbillon on the back, and on the front you've got just this nice sort of metallic-y fan dial. And that would be a nice watch in itself. But this watch actually has another extremely special complication, and that is that this dial is actually made out of sapphire. It's smoked sapphire, and these two sections are windows that open. Now, when I first saw this watch come out, I thought they open only on demand. You click this button, it opens, and then you click it again and it shuts, which would definitely be cool. But in fact, this has actually a very cool complication, and that is that they are programmed to open at a specific time of day and then close at a later time of day without the owner doing anything. So I'm going to show you how that works, and then I'll show you that we can do it from the crown, but it's cooler when you have it go the whole way. So let's imagine time is moving forward at a faster pace than real life. Okay, so you're going through your day, and it's 3 p.m., 4, 5, 6. Now this one is programmed to open at 10 p.m., and it takes 1 hour to open, which means it's going to start at 9 and be fully open at 10. Okay? So we get to 9. And let's watch what's going to happen. I'm sorry, maybe it's at 10 that it starts. I forgot. Here we go. So now the watch is opening, and underneath you can see there is a hand-painted Grand Feu enamel painting of the night sky. So you have that big full moon. Sorry for all my reflections here. The shooting star, all the details of the star, the gradation in space. It's this absolutely gorgeous painting. Again, it's hand-painted enamel. And just stunning, right? So now time still goes. You go through the nighttime. And by the way, the times that it opens and closes are set at the factory, but they will change it. They've told me that they'll do it for free even. So if you request, that it open at, let's say, 7 p.m. and close at 7 a.m., they can do that for you. So now it's not night anymore, and so it would be appropriate for this to close. And there you go. At 8 a.m., the fans start to close, and by 9, they're closed. So the one important caveat, which it says in big underlined things in the book, is that you can open and close it manually, but you can't do it while it's during its program time or 1 hour on either side of it. So now, let's just make it noon to be 100% safe. So we could totally open it up now, and you press it, and boom, it instantly opens. And that'll stay open until it goes all the way back around, and at 8 a.m. tomorrow, it'll close itself in its normal closing cycle. So you can't break it or anything by leaving it open through the cycle. It'll just close itself eventually when it gets time to close it. But when it's not in its cycle, you can open and close as much as you want. And you basically get 2 watches for the price of 1. So you've got this cool, understated, very gray, interesting tourbillon, and boom, you want a little flash, you've got an entire painting underneath. These are obviously extremely rare. They make very, very few of these. It is totally hand done, so each one is unique. And, for example, there's another one sort of similar like this, but the moon is in a totally different location, and the stars are obviously different because they're hand paintings, right? So this is a good shot of me on my iPhone here. This is the Galet Secret, and there is the secret. So let me show you the watch on my wrist. We'll keep it open. It looks nice open, right? It's one of those watches where you're holding it and it looks like the proportions, you're like, I'm not so sure about that. And then you get it on the wrist and it looks incredible, right? The size is really nice. The watch wears super comfortably. The lugs are curved just right. It's understated but beautiful. It's got this poetic complication. This is like a very, very mature concept of a watch that throws in a tourbillon and, some very cool stuff. This is a patent pending mechanism. You've got the hand painted enamel dial, and yet at the same time, it's very understated and just super, super classy. So to me, this watch ticks all the boxes. It's totally unique, and it's a very, very, very special piece. So boom, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.